I caught a fish and it was this big. I saw these hands on Amazon and I thought, wow, these would make great pointers and they'd be a lot of fun. Initially, I got the right hand and I liked it so much I got the left hand. Believe it or not, if you buy them separately, they're a little cheaper. So this video is all about making a pointer, and not just a short pointer, but possibly the longest pointer in the history of everything. There's times when I want to point to something that's way in deep in the frame, or it's way up and I can move my camera up. I've got an extending pole for that, but I need something that's going to give me the ability to point from a safe distance. So let's go to a top-down shot and get into some of the trade-off and details. Well, you wouldn't have to use boiled linseed oil. You could use olive oil, you could use any kind of wax. You could stain these guys a deeper color, but I kind of like the natural wood color that I'm trying to go for here. This is the second coat for the right hand. Doesn't take long at all. You want to get in all the little corners of this hand. Try to make it as uniform as possible. And then so in comparison, that's what it looks like. This is a totally sanded but nothing else hand. First coat of boiled linseed oil. Open the hand up. When you get them, they're real stiff. But after you've had them for a while, they loosen up. The left hand that hasn't been done before is going to suck up a lot more boiled linseed oil, paint, or whatever it is, compared to its partner over here, the right hand, who's had it done before. So we'll finish the left hand off, let it dry overnight, and I'll show you the results. These are really great. They have digits that move. The challenge you have, though, is how do you mount this to some sort of pole? You've got a nice solid piece of wood, a spring and a pin here, and that's because you can move this around. I've seen people make all sorts of crazy things out of these handles. It stands up okay on this base, but I wanted something a little wider to make it a little more stable. See? It falls right down. This one, it just centers itself. So after a lot of thinking, I came up with this option here, where I took a lid from a tin, put it together like this, with the idea that that would hold it in place. But when you put it out on a long pole, if this hand falls off, it's pretty much done for unless it lands on a pile of fluffy pillows. So I had to come up with another idea, but I did like how I could put in 4 screws here solid into the wood. It allowed me to get around this challenge here. Originally I was going to somehow tie into that pin or run something down that hole, but this was the way to go. Now if you didn't have any other option, you could certainly run some tape around here, and I could do it on this one. Then I found these nice little screw lids. They're a little stronger and a lot less likely to fall off. Plus it gives them a black base on which to mount your hand or pointer. We're going to find the center of the bottom of this using my handy dandy circle center rig. Post that somewhere around here and down below in case you're interested in seeing that video. There you go, center. Take it off, make it a little easier for the tool. This is different than other tools you've seen like this. So I'm actually going to draw all the way across on the lid like that, and then rotate it to 90 degrees and draw on it like that. I can't put anything in the center of the hole. 15 millimeters. I'm going to go in here on this and then actually mark some positions on each one of these. Put a hash mark there at 15 millimeters. That will allow me to get into the center of this piece right here and erase these extra lines. So you're going to have a little bit of a lip, and you want to conceal those lines just to make it look a little nicer. I'm going to use a center punch to make it easier to drill, but this is a little flimsy, and then if I probably push down on that too much, it's going to just warp this whole area here and probably this whole area here. So I'm going to use a plastic lid to give me some support for a center punch. Depending on how good your drilling is, you may not have to do this, but I find it helps the drill bit from slipping. Nice little cross. Now you can actually erase these. You can hit that with a wet wand once you're done drilling and kind of clean it up. Now I'm going to go over here. Look at that. It doesn't fit. So I need a smaller lid or a piece of wood or something in there to support that when I do the same thing on this one. Got a cap. I'm going to raise that up, put it in the center as best as I can, and give it a pop. Wow, look at that. Looks pretty center to me. Now you can do it a couple times. can almost drill the hole just with the center punch. I'm going to use some number 6 3/4 inch sheet metal screws to drive into the wood. But first I got to make the holes, and you want to make sure that the hole, in this case, clears the screw. On this side, we're going to use a 1/4 inch hole because that's what all my camera interfaces are. 1/4 inch 20 thread. You could use this and go straight to the 1/4 inch, but you sometimes will tear into sheet metal, as I've learned many different ways. Pre-drill it with this little hole, and then just move myself up the drill line. This one is a 5/32. Just make the hole bigger and bigger. Ooh, be a little careful there. So you can see it's lifting up just a little bit already. 13/64. And if you're a little nervous about this, you can actually use a wrench to hold it. Alright, I'm feeling pretty confident about now. Maybe I can just jump right up to the... Alright, well that's a pretty clean hole. Pretty happy with that. So set that off to the side and then bring the other one that you've already drilled into the picture. Sometimes best laid plans and some of the best video footage doesn't make it on the roll for some strange reason. So I have to go back and recreate how I made these holes. Let's talk about this because it's kind of important. So the first thing you got to do, or I did here, is once I have this all aligned, I made sure that it was centered nice all the way around. And you can hold it in place. You could tape it with double-sided tape. This is what you would have seen with that fantastic video that no longer exists for some strange reason. So I put the line on here, put the line on the wood. So imagine this is the hand. Marked the 4 holes. When I screw this in here, it's going to go into those holes. I took a center punch, solid divots right in the center of these 5/64 drill bit. And what you want to do is you want the drill to be just enough for the shaft of the screw, not the threads. You want the threads to kind of able to bite into the wood. And since these are such small drill bits to begin with, they're very fragile. So you just come in here and carefully drill a straight hole. Now you know how this all goes together. Now back to the video and we'll pick up where we left off. I'm going to put all the screws in a little bit and then tighten them all down. You're working with wood. The last thing you want to do is have this split. So you could use a drill to screw these in, but I think it's worth to put the screws in by hand with just a regular screwdriver. If you're having problems getting them in the hole, you can use a little hand sanitizer on the screw. The great thing about hand sanitizer as opposed to soap is that it evaporates. It's alcohol. Oh yeah, so much easier. Really makes it fast and efficient. And then it just squirts out the end and you just dry it off with a paper towel. I replaced this silver one that's loose with the twist on. I used, in this case, number 6 3/4 inch wood screws. Put the washers in on both sides. Do you need 4 screws 3/4 inch into these hands? Probably not. You probably could get away with 2. But I don't want these to fall off. Each one of these hands weighs 8 ounces and you're going to suspend it on the end of a pole. So you want to make sure it's strong enough. For the pole itself, this is an easy rescue ball retriever. I just took the ball retriever off. I just drilled out the little thing here. I actually cut a bolt down. This is a 1/4 inch bolt. I locked it in with some glue and some tape and then put a nylon lock nut on there. And then one of these washers, these wing nut washers, I use these all the time. They are fantastic for all sorts of projects. So I inverted that. Then one of these 1/4 inch 1 1/4 inch on the bottom, this is to help stabilize it. This is a toilet washer, and then another one of these washered wing nuts, and just lock it all down. That's nice and tight. A lot tighter actually than this here. It's amazing what the structure of the twist top does to help improve this. And then you just tighten it on. And there you go, 10 feet long. If you didn't want to go this route, take a 1/4 inch PVC pipe, drilled it in the center. I'm taking a 3/4 inch, 1/4 inch screw, an external tooth lock washer. I've actually used this for some of my photography gear. I'll post up there a whole series of videos where I use these washers and these end caps for 1/4 inch PVC with a little electrical tape around there to make it black. You take your screwdriver, go in there, push it through. Now you want a bit of thread there. You're going to take another one of these washers, take the bottom. Since I have this toilet washer right here, I'm just going to tighten it and try that out. Cinch that down, That's nice and solid. And then you can put your other hand on it like this. And then all you do is pop on any length of 1/2-inch PVC pipe you want, whether it's gray or white PVC. Here's one of my old pointers. I called it the candy cane. You've probably seen it in some of my videos in the past, but I'm gonna upgrade it by putting this hand on. And you can imagine this can be 10 feet long, 20 feet long, whatever it takes to get the pointer in place. And this is 10 feet long. Way out there, out of the frame it is. Or anywhere in between. Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in all sorts of crazy designs, making and breaking things, evaluations of sports gear and photography equipment, I do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe because you never know what you're gonna see.